Is your shading still look patchy? You're still creating uneven zebra looking brows, and on top of that you don't know how to create smooth powder transition? Then let me show you how to easily fix your hand movement and how to easily create the most beautiful transition for the most beautiful brows ever. So first, let me show you on paper, and then we will move to latex with machine. So I want to point out why you are creating patches. And there's different types of people, how they hold, and I want to uncover this all. So the first type is when you are doing pointy shading. So you can see you point here and slide, point here. So you're trying to be perfect. You're trying to start your shading from specific point, and that's why you have very dark beginning. Now, in this case, just notice how you hold the tool. You are holding so straight, so 90 degree. So for your type, I suggest to move the machine to the 60 degree. This will so solve this issue. This will tremendously help to avoid the darkness at the beginning. And now, holding by 60, try to slide through. Now, there is another type of the students who are doing complete opposite mistake. They are landing into the latex and they are creating a dark spots at the end. So over here, in this case, they are holding the machine 60 degree. If you notice, if you ever happen to have this, just see how you hold the machine. So by holding this 90 degree, you will avoid this issue, you will fix this issue. But probably at this stage, you might not yet fix this issue because you're lacking understanding about the right movement. So how to do the proper shading movement? And I want you to focus on my hand. So if you want to avoid darkness at the beginning or at the end, you need to really lift your tool high enough and make sure you're landing to the opposite direction, high enough to the opposite direction. And it's pretty much like pendulum movement, but pendulum movement, you're going back in the same way. But in our case, you just swing and then you bring it back. And again, swing and you bring it back. Swing and bring it back. Now, obviously, I'm exaggerating this movement. I'm doing this too wide range. You will need to do the same, but in a shorter range to just make sure you are doing shading on this area. So if I would to shorten my hand range, it would be like this: up, come back, swing, come back, swing, come back, swing. And if I were to show you in slow motion, let's try in a slow motion, it would be something like this: up, down, come back again, down, come back. So no matter which range you're doing, if you notice, I still start from the ear, get into the latex and come out, come back again, start from the ear, get into the latex, come out and come back. So I never start from here and I never end at this point. I always go through. So your latex is something that you are going through. Also, I want to show you the trick about my pinky. I don't really have this hold like this. Sometimes I can just even put all this area on the latex to make sure I'm stable, because I tend to do this the same on the clients. So I have no reason to hold this in the ear because I can always lean this all on the client's face and feel very stable in my movement. Now, this is something that takes practice. And now I will show you the right movement with the machine and let you check using the PDF file that I also leave under this video. Let you check what are the wrong results on latex versus the right one. So again, instead of creating this one, pointy shading, try to relax your hand, move your machine to 60 degree and slide through. You can increase your range of motion, it's totally fine. From the short one, you can have it bigger. Actually, the bigger the better transition will be. And the other mistake, as we talked about, is going inside, ending your movement at the end. So fix this by holding 90 degree. And for me, as you can see, it doesn't matter whether I hold here or here, is because I always follow the rule: lift, slide, go to this point and come back. All right, now I want to show you how to create a smooth transition. Again, I will show this with pen and then I will show this with machine. So the reason, very common reason why artists create a zebra effect is because their transition method is wrong. So let's say this is the shading range that you are creating. And obviously your shading range by this time is already has to be even. So you already has to have a certain range movement that you got used to do. If you still sometimes go out too much or go in too much, try to practice as many times as till you get stable with your range of shading. Now, I just want to show you mistakes first. So let's say this is you done then, and then you come down here, and then you come down here again, and then you come down here again. And notice how I already creating zebra effect. Here darker, here lighter, darker, lighter, darker. The reason why this happens is because you're going down too much. So you're almost doing this at the end. You're starting your new shading at the end. And that's why the overlapping area is this much. The rest is light. The rest is the new one. So overlapping in this much, again, you're doing, and overlapping is this much, this little bit. So the right way how you should be doing is going down just slightly. So let's say if this is your shading range, the next time you step down should be just this tiny bit. This is so important. No matter you're doing shading or even the lips, stepping forward has to be tiny bit, almost 10%, 10 to 20%, and then having just a new area by, again, 10 to 20%. So this is going to be your new range. And then again, next one, you step just tiny bit and tiny bit, new one. And again, one from here to here. This way you will have a smooth transition. So if I were to uncover this, if I were to just show you how it looks like, then next one from here, next one from here, you can see each time, each step, we are stepping just tiny bit down, down, down. The smaller this range, the better. But obviously this is, I just uncover, it has to be all in one line. So hope you're getting, and I will show this again with machine, how it's supposed to be, mistakes versus correct. And you can also check the PDF file to check whether you're doing right or wrong. Now I want to show you, this is when we're doing smooth transition in horizontal way. But what about the sand brow technique, the one I really love and the one I teach? And you will see this on the screen right now, how it looks like. The transition there is different. So the transition there is different is because I want to create lighter upper part of the brow and darker bottom part of the eyebrows. So it's not, the transition there is not by horizontal way. So let's say this is our bottom line. And you will see this video. You also have this video. You can check the full tutorial on latex with machine, how I do it. But I just want to uncover this with pencil so you can see. I started this by diagonal, like this. So you can see each time I do it this way, by diagonal. So my next time, it's the same thing. I'm still stepping forward by 20%. So next time I will start from here and go a little bit more, from here and go a little bit out, from here and here. So my new parts are by 10 to 20% new. And here again. So I'm adding more, adding again, front, come out. But every time it just by tiny bit forward. So I have a nice transition. Let's say if this is our brow. When you will see this on the latex, I usually just start from the arch and then come down inside. So I just do the reverse one. I start from inner, coming to there, but it's the same thing. And then for the front, you will see in this video, I do the front this way, just the horizontal one, but then they will combine, they will merge together with this. And then separately, I fill this upper part by these type of the movements, just to make the upper part lighter, like a sand. So this is the other way how you can do the transition. It doesn't have to be always this direction, but it can also be like feather effect like this. So that's about it. Let's jump to the latex and do this with machine. And now let me show you the transition. Go slightly down. Again, slightly down only. Versus if I would be doing this. You can already see it builds the zebra effect right away. Now let's practice the other type from the sand brow technique. Let me actually do the outline first. So this is how I would do the outline, the lower part of the eyebrow. So every time I step just a little bit, 10 to 20% forward. And you can obviously make this one more time just to fill in the darkness, the bottom part, to have this a little bit darker with the same movements. Now this comes with experience. First you need to fix your movement by the hand, so it won't have the beginning too dark or the ending too dark, and then you can start practicing these different transitions. Actually, the first step of fixing your hand movement is the crucial. Then after this, everything else will follow more and more easily. So do try practicing the hand movement to make sure you already don't create any dark spots. Make sure you already create a nice transition. And then from this one, proceed to transitions, making sure you're following the rule, stepping down just a little bit by 10 to 20%, and then you can move on to something more difficult, to the sand brow transition. Now I also have this one as a full tutorial. You can see me doing sand brow technique on latex. You can check this out, and you can also check the PDF file where you can compare the wrong movement to the right one and see where you are at right now. So remember to download useful resources under this video, and little encouragement to you, just let you know, if you still can get these exercises right, don't be discouraged, because it takes time to get our hands to do the right movement, just like the baby learn walking or writing, or when we do exercises in the gym, it takes time to build muscles, to get that muscle memory connections. And only by repeating the movement, by practicing, can we build it and can we achieve the result. So don't underestimate yourself, don't give up, take your time and keep on practicing.